Another important component of the raw living food diet is fermented foods. Yeah, people have known about the importance of friendly flora for proper digestion for thousands of years. You have your yogurt, kefir, the Koreans have kimchi, you have Japanese fish sauce, even the Romans knew about that one. And so today we're going to make some sauerkraut. Now, as Julia Child would say, don't be afraid. Well, don't be afraid to try this. Lactobacillus, acidophilus, bifidus, these are the good bacteria. I know they sound a little scary, but they're really, really good to help keep things moving. So here we go. First, we're going to strip away the outer leaves, and we're saving these for later because fermented sauerkraut needs an anaerobic environment. So that should probably be enough for later, so I'm going to reserve these over here. And now we'll start by chopping our cabbage. And we're just doing a rough chop here because we have our handy Vitamix 5200 here. So that should be just fine. Just a little bit of liquid to get things going. And today I'm going to be using some ginger and some cauliflower in the sauerkraut. But you could virtually use just about any hard vegetable that you like. You could use carrots, you could use beets, you could put some garlic in there and even some hot peppers. Okay, so that's a nice rough chop on the cabbage. And we'll do a little bit of a rough chop on the cauliflower as well. And it all goes in together. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we're going to make this in batches. And make sure, standing by, you have a sterilized glass jar or a crock pot. I have my filtered water. We're ready to start our first batch. Oops, cabbage overboard. Okay, so we're putting some cabbage, a little bit of cauliflower, and today we're going to put a little bit of ginger. So what I'm going to do is microplane it in. Skins are fine, and we'll do this for every batch because it'll give it a nice little kick. And it smells so great. Okay, now we're also putting some dulse, and I'm using the granulated dulse just because it's that extra touch of mineral content. So healthy. And the other thing I like to put in my sauerkraut is a little bit of caraway seed. It just sweetens it up a little bit. Okay, that looks about right. And I like to add a little Celtic sea salt too. Next, we'll add some water and blend it up. Okay, so now we have the perfect starter mixture. And we'll just keep adding cabbage and sauerkraut. And you can vary the consistency that you like. I like mine nice and tangy and a little bit on the crunchy side. So some of this I'm just going to pulse. And we're going to do that on high for 1 second. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to pour this into my jar. Okay. And we'll just continue adding more cabbage, more cauliflower, and again, a little bit more caraway seed, more dulse, and a little bit of Celtic sea salt. So we're making another batch here, and of course we'll need to microplane in a little bit of ginger. I love this gadget. It's the easiest way to do garlic, ginger. So I can tell you, I've been to all the raw food retreats, and they're wonderful. If you really want to learn how to do this lifestyle, I highly recommend it. Just go down there, even if it's just for a week, You will learn so much. I couldn't begin to put all that information into this one DVD. Okay, so that looks like that's just about ready to blend up. I'm going to add a little bit more water. And you can hold off on your seasonings until the very end and just give it a little taste and then adjust everything. I've made this a million times, so I know just how much of the Celtic and the dulse and the caraway seed to put in there. And okay, again, I'm just going to give this a quick pulse because I do like it a little on the firm, chunky side. Okay, almost ready for batch number 3. You can see how it all starts to squish down. It seems like a lot of cabbage to start with, but it's not. Get down in there. Cauliflower. I'm going to tamp this down. Just tamp it all the way down. And we'll give it another little pulse here. Okay, that's perfect. So this batch is going right in to our container. And then here's the last little bit. Okay, looking good. Now, I also wanted to mention, if you don't have fancy equipment, don't even worry about it. You could use a hand grater, which, by the way, I have done myself in the past. We can take all of this to the sink and get a little more room to work here. All right, so here we have our sauerkraut mixture. We want to get every little last drop of this into our container. So you want to make sure that it has enough liquid, which it does. And now, since this is an anaerobic bacterial culture, we're going to take those leaves that we reserved and we're just going to press them down and make sure that we get all of the air pockets out, all the way to the corners. And then I like to put an extra little bowl in here. You want to weight it down. And this will sit on my countertop for about a week. You could also add some starter from a previous batch of sauerkraut. But I'm going to eat this. So good. I eat it straight from the jar. Nice and tangy. Depending upon the conditions in your home, and depending upon how tangy you like it, you could leave this out for anywhere from 4 days. Some people even leave it as long as 2 weeks. When it's time to harvest your sauerkraut, simply throw away the outer leaves of the cabbage that you had placed there and compost bowl any of the darker material. That looks pretty good. It smells terrific. Well, it smells great, so let's take a little taste and make sure we have a healthy culture here. I've had this one going for about a week, and it's just terrific, nice and tangy. So you want to make sure you have a nice clean jar, and we'll put our sauerkraut in here and then refrigerate it. And this will keep for quite a while in the refrigerator. It just smells fantastic. So many wonderful antioxidants in here. Okay, so we make sure we tightly seal it. And in the refrigerator it goes. So remember, don't be afraid. Experiment a little bit. Your body's going to love you for it.